little bit about generics, and everybody has this idea about generics, very good, non-generic. There's nothing as simple as that. As people who are uninformed, a lot of them for pharma sector, so they're already aware, so do excuse that. Let's start with the innovator molecule. One company gets this innovator molecule, spends a lot of money on it, gets it over there, spent a lot of money on research, we all know that. When the patent expires, it's open for a certain time for certain level of companies. And then 180 days or something, I'm not sure with about law. Subsequently, it's opened out to everybody. Now that, can you imagine the scenario? A good drug company does QA/QC properly, bioavailability, bioequivalence, all of that perfectly, gets it done through its own in-house laboratory as well as third-party testing. So anybody who matches that standard with a generic drug is totally acceptable. We have to work a system. How do we get there? What about people who don't do that, who have their own in-house BA, BQs, BEs, fake ones we are all familiar with, which Indian Jugaad is really there. It's there in, you can make drugs in Dharavi, you could make it in Salem, Coimbatore, where a lot of companies are there. So all of these companies would give, as Dr. Milind was mentioning, in our earlier days in government hospitals, we weren't sure about the quality of drugs that were dispensed because people had to be L1, the lowest in the tender, and therefore any kind of drug got in. So if we get into that scenario again, Dr. Milind was calculating in his days, 400 milligram could double kar do, 800 milligram to effective hoga. That scenario is gone. Right now it's so bad that bioequivalence of 30%, people have done studies, I have insider sources in the industry, 30 to 40% bioequivalence is being marketed. Can you imagine that? That's the higher limit. We're not even talking about lower down spurious drugs. So where are we all headed? What are we trying to, who are we trying to fool? Generics, till we establish, like for example, I think one of the panelists brought out wonderfully well, that we insist on stringent quality controls for exports. What did he mean by that? I'll tell you. Bioequivalence, in-house testing is allowed for everybody, but if you want to export it, then you have to have a third-party regulator coming in and checking the quality, right? So why can't we do it for Indians? Are Indians substandard? Are Indian lives not at value? So I think till that time, it is totally a sham. It's just a pretense to try and pretend to do something good when actually, as the word says, Panacea or Pandora's box, I would say, with due respect to our region, Pan-Asia, we know the ethics, we know the morals, and therefore, Pandora box ho jayega, Pandora box ke badli, just eating pan and spitting stains everywhere.